Today is Monday, December 1st, and this is the Bay Blend from WUSF. I'm Sky LeBron. Is Florida a solidly red state now? Well, this previous election cycle shows that might not be the case, although it's not taken a hard jump to blue either. We'll talk about the state's voting trends, plus some events in the Tampa Bay area as we get deeper into the holiday season. But before those topics, here's the news. A case of flesh-eating bacteria was reported last month in Polk County. It's called Vibrio vulnificus, and it's found in warm, salty water. Norm Beatty is an associate professor with UF. He says just because it's been colder outside, it doesn't mean that these bacteria aren't still thriving and growing in the water.
We have to recognize that Vibrio is found year-round. There are certain salinities that it is accustomed to and thrives in.
So if you have any type of redness, pain, or swelling around a wound after you get out of the water, you should probably check with a doctor. A Palestinian teen who lives part of the year in Tampa is back home. He spent the last 9 months in an Israeli prison. Mohammed Ibrahim is 15. He was visiting family in the West Bank when he was accused of throwing stones and detained. He admitted to throwing the stones, but said it was after being physically threatened by interrogators. News outlets are reporting he's the cousin of Saifullah Musalet, a 20-year-old Palestinian-American from Tampa who was killed in a confrontation with Israeli settlers in the West Bank in July. They worked together at the family's Tampa ice cream shop. And just like that, USF's head football coach is gone. Alex Golesh is heading to Auburn, where he just signed a fat 6-year contract. The rumor was Arkansas, but that shifted in the final hours before his announcement. Golesh went 23-15 in his 3 seasons with the Bulls, with 2 bowl wins. Meanwhile, the Bulls finished up their season 9-3 with a shiny 6-0 record at home. The defensive line coach Kevin Patrick takes over in the interim as the team waits to see what bowl game they get. The Bucs beat the Cardinals this weekend, and I just want to take a second to say I know what I'm talking about. The score was 20-17, which I exactly predicted in Friday's episode if you gave it a listen. I thought Teddy Bridgewater was going to be the QB instead of Baker Mayfield, who's just a machine at this point, but still, I got the score right. The Bucs really needed that win, too. It keeps them on top of their division for now with a 7-5 record. Need an extra punch of flavor in your meals? Seitenbacher's oils could add that extra pop that you need to level up your favorite dishes. Check out their rosemary, hot chili, and truffle oils for sale at Seitenbacher.com. Florida's political history is a pretty interesting study. For some decades, it was a blue state. Then it became more purple and one of the most important swing states in the country. Nowadays, it's pretty firmly red, but that could be changing too if this most recent election cycle showed us anything. WUSF's Megan Bowman has been talking to voters and experts on both sides. Megan, what was the number one takeaway when you were talking to Florida voters about this story?
Yeah, so Florida might not be as red as you think. So from 1972 to 2020, Democrats had the highest number of registered voters. Then in 2021, Republicans took the lead. But things are changing. People have been switching, like Terry H. in Orlando.
The Republican Party they didn't drift further to the right. They took a hard right turn. They yanked it off the road, off the rails.
Yeah, and Terry thinks that the party just abandoned him. Now, on the other side, you have folks like Nina M. in the Panhandle.
I started finding that there was never anything on my ballot during primary times. It'd just be like, why aren't I getting a ballot? And then I'm like, oh, because I'm in such a red area that, it's mostly GOP primaries.
And for Nina, is that because Florida is a closed primary state?
Yeah, Florida is one of a handful of states with completely closed primaries. That means you can only vote for the party that you're registered in during the primaries. And that can be a really big issue for a lot of voters because over 25% of people in the state are non-party affiliated or NPA. And as a minor party like Independent, Green Party, you can't vote in those primaries. And that's a really large number of the population.
So, Megan, based off of talking to people and getting out in the community, do you think that the state has potential to go back to being blue or at the very least more of a swing state?
Look, party leadership, both Dems and Republicans, think their parties are doing great. Pendulums are swinging. They're winning, right?
Swinging all over the place. I'm sorry.
Lock in, please.
I'm sorry. My bad.
So both major party leaders say they're feeling good. The party's in good shape. But Kelly Smith, a political analyst from Stetson University, isn't so sure that the state is really that red.
I don't anticipate the state legislature flipping back to the Democratic Party. However, the statewide races, I think are still up for grabs. I still think a Democrat could absolutely win a statewide race here in Florida. I think we need a few more election cycles to determine whether really the move to a solidly red state is done.
So the pendulum could stay a-swinging.
It could stay a-swinging. But listen, the deadline to register to change parties, if you want to, for the 2026 midterm primaries is July 20th. And look, when this comes through, one big thing we'll be looking for is seeing where the numbers end up next year.
If you want to read or listen to Megan's feature, which is on a very important subject here in the state of Florida, you can right now at WUSF.org. Megan, thank you for the time.
Thanks. Remember, you can also go to Instagram, Your Florida Megan, or WUSF.
Shameless plug. If you have any books or puzzles you're tired of looking at in your home but you don't want to throw them out, bring them to Crooked Thumb Brewery in Safety Harbor tonight. They're doing one of their swap nights where you can bring the stuff you don't want and you get a ticket for it. Then you use those tickets to grab other people's stuff that they don't want anymore. And it's okay if your edition of Paula Deen's Southern Cooking Bible doesn't get picked up. All the items that don't get swapped are donated, so you don't have to bring your rejected items home. This one starts up at 6. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office is doing a tree lighting ceremony Tuesday night on 8th Ave in Ybor City. There's going to be music, lights, and more. The Facebook event page on this has a lot of interest, so plan on getting there a bit early if you want to park. It starts at 6, but the actual lighting is at 7. And while it's Christmas season, it's also Yule season for those who celebrate. It was celebrated by the early Germanic people and actually merged with Christmas as that population became more Christian. A little history nugget for you. Anyways, the James Museum in St. Pete is doing its annual Yule cactus lighting at 6 on Tuesday. It's a 12-foot cactus with Christmas lights on it. Ain't that fun? There's also going to be family art making and photos with Cowboy Santa. That sounds like a darn tootin' good time. Oh, and this one is free to go to. That's the Bay Blend from WUSF. I'm Sky LeBron. Have you already started your holiday shopping yet? Today is Cyber Monday. That's when I get a lot of my shopping done, but also rent is due, so this is just terrible timing. Hope all my friends enjoy socks and Russell Stover chocolates. Russell has always been there for me. Anyways, I'll catch you tomorrow morning for another Bay Blend.